I'm going to share with you some thoughts I have about the most effective ways of communicating. Communicating.
So that, what I just did in the slow speeds, that was essentially the fundamentals of operating a motorcycle. It's gas, clutch, brake. That's the only three controls you have, gas, clutch, brake. You can move your body, but basically gas, clutch, brake. And so when I'm doing my tricks and riding fast and doing the circles, it's all the same exact thing. For instance, when I'm going around a tight circle, do you see the show? Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you're going around a tight circle on two wheels, like I was telling this guy right here, you know, bike falls in, gas it to come out. Bike's falling out of it, brake to come in. It's the same thing when you're road racing around a corner. It's an advanced technique that when you're road racing or even dirt bike riding, can drag the front brake to turn the bike in. You know, when I'm doing circle wheelies, it is exactly the same. It's on one wheel, but it's exactly the same. Excuse me. The bike starts to high side, I need to use the brake. The bike starts to low side, I need to give it gas. So essentially the most difficult things of freestyle riding, and it's a lot of, you know, the brakes here and the clutches here for us. So it's a lot of this and this. So it's these three things happening at, you know, at such a rapid rate that I couldn't even, you just have to do it 1,000 times. But it's basically gas, clutch, brake. It's the same fundamental principles of riding a motorcycle. And I see so many, it's like a squid move. It's like the famous dealership move. A guy gets on a new bike and he 2-foots it out, you know, and he's back and forth like this. You're like, dude, you're heading for trouble. And then he loops out as he leaves the thing, because he's got the Cosmoline on his tires still. It's the same thing.
We call that duck walking.
Duck walking, yeah, right, exactly. So it's like, you don't want to be a duck walker. You want to. Number one, you'll look cooler. Trust me, you'll look a lot cooler, but you'll be a better rider and have more control. And in the end, riding motorcycles for me, it's always been just about control. And maybe I'm a control freak, but I'm just trying to have control of the motorcycle. I'm trying to make it do what I want to do versus me just riding it. You know, there's a fine line in the entertainment aspect of it, of jumping on the bull and letting the thing, you know, do its thing and being wild and coming close to danger. But in the end, even though it looks out of control, that's just the entertainment side of it, trying to make it look out of control. But really, it's always just been about that control for me. And the control starts with that exact same maneuver, gas, clutch, brake, going slow, and then you up the ante, you go faster. And the same techniques that you do to back it in and drift out of a corner at 120 is the exact same technique that you do to do it at 20 miles an hour, except there's just some higher consequences and you have to have a little bit more skill. And the other thing, the going slow part at a dead stop, if I pulled the clutch in and turned the gas off, I couldn't do it. You got to have the centrifugal motion of the motor. Basically, you're working the gas against the brake, and so the clutch just allows you to do that. So that's why you're slipping. You're working the gas against the brake, and essentially you're just balancing. You're balancing like it's gas, brake, and you just work it against each other, and you're controlling it one way or the other. If you took away the control and you took away the gas and the brake, you'd just be there, and whatever way the bike wanted to fall, the bike would fall that way. You know, so essentially you just, you know, it's gas, clutch, brake, you're working it against itself. That's why it's like, you know,
because it's wound up like a spring.
Right, and you gotta.
That's what we teach. That's exactly what we teach at Gymkhana, is the combination and the tension between the two, and how that.
And people are afraid to slip the clutch. You're not going to ruin the clutch.
It's not a car.
No, right, exactly. It'll take a beating. I mean, on that 1000, the abuse isn't on the clutch plates. People always think, oh, you're doing wheelies. Well, I don't need to even use a clutch to do a wheelie. That bike would just go brop and come right up. The GS, I've been riding that bike for 3 years and I smoked the clutch once. But it's because I used to slip it like that and hold it on the limiter repeatedly.
Right.
And it would just glaze the clutch. You can't do that. You can't just, but you can brum, 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 you know, over and over and over. But the basis for all this riding that you're seeing here comes from the same principles you'll learn in Gymkhana. So come on down to BMW of Birmingham. These guys will hook you up. We got a nice Gymkhana course right out here, a huge parking lot. You want to learn the basics of everything? Gymkhana is where it's at. See you there.